Look, guys, okay. Dororo is amazing. It's a masterpiece. It is an underrated masterpiece. And it's crazy because I remember when I was in college, I want to say when I was around 22-ish, I kept seeing pictures of it everywhere. And I believe it was 2000. I think this is the 2019 version. I believe it's the 2019 version. There's multiple versions. So like there's the original manga, then there's like this. I think it's in the 60s anime, and then there's like it looks kind of like a webtoon version that's on Amazon that I've seen, and then there's this anime. But this anime is such a masterpiece. I have so much to say about it. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna keep it real. It does give me Samurai Champloo vibes. Okay, I already did the video on it before this one with the '90s Berserk, but I'm way more into this anime. I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm not hating on Berserk. This one is just way more interesting. It's way more simple, way more straightforward, and just overall more enjoyable for me. And I think it's mostly because it's unique when it comes to its main character, and its main character literally losing all of his limbs, losing his skin, and then the more strong demons he fights, he gets all of his senses back, he gets his limbs back and whatnot. And I think that's really what makes me like it the most, because our main character, his name is Hayakimaru. He's literally half of the time he's like a freaking baby who can't do anything, and that's not me clowning him. I love him. He's like a baby who can't do anything, and then the other half of the time he's like this cold-blooded freaking assassin killer, slashing demons up. All right, so what I'm going to be reviewing is these last two episodes I just watched just now. It's the hold on, let me turn my light on. It's hot as hell in my room, but I want you guys to be able to see me. So the current two episodes I watched, I'm gonna turn this one on too. The current two episodes I just watched is episode 5 and 6. And these were two really good episodes. I do want to say this too about this anime. This anime, so much happens in such a short amount of time. It feels like every episode is like an hour and a half long movie when it's only 23 minutes long. It's really weird how they're able to cram everything together and it doesn't feel bloated. Okay, and it's very straightforward. It's not a slow burn. Some anime I like a slow burn, some I don't. It just is what it is. It really depends on how the anime is as a whole. But this one is not slow burn. It just goes straight into the action. So this episode, we had Dororo, and we had Hayaki Maru, and we had the blind priest go into this little area, right? They go into this area, and there is two different samurai houses going to war, okay? And basically they end up in the middle of it, and there's like kind of like this little mountaintop, and in the mountaintop there's like these handicapped children that are really similar to Hayakimaru. You know, they're handicapped, they have a limb missing or a leg missing, stuff like that. And then they have a woman, and her name is let me see, give me a second. I know I wrote it down. Hold on, give me a second. There's a woman named Mio, and Mio is this beautiful Japanese woman that takes care of the kids. Okay, so she keeps talking about having this job. During the day, she tries to help the kids, but there's one of the kids that tries to help her, and she tries to sleep as much as she can during the day. But at the same time, she really likes Hayaki Maru. She's taken a liking to him, so she tries to heal him, is trying to save him. And he's a handsome dude, so it's not really that surprising. And they look like they're around the same age. We have the priest sitting there talking. The priest is always talking to Dororo about a whole bunch of stuff. I really like the priest. He's just a really cool, chill character. Even though he acts nothing like this character, he reminds me of Ninja from Afro Samurai. Even though he acts nothing like him, he just kind of reminds me of him for some reason. He also kind of reminds me of the blind woman from Samurai Champloo. Okay, so this show has a lot of Afro Samurai Champloo, you know, feel to it, even though it actually came out way before both of them. But yeah, so they kind of take a liking to one another, right? And what I really like is there's this demon that both him and the priest are fighting, and Hayakimaru, he keeps constantly going back fighting this demon. He ends up losing his leg, but he ends up getting his voice back, right? So now he can't necessarily talk, but he can make sounds, and he feels, and he also got his pain back too. He fought a demon, now he can actually feel pain again. So he was screaming and whatnot because he technically lost to the creature. And, you know, he's constantly getting retaken care of, and we're constantly seeing Mio, we're constantly seeing her and go to her so-called job. Well, one of the days, Dororo, she goes and she chases her to see what her job is. And I already knew what her job was. She basically lets all of the samurais sleep with her in return for money and seeds and whatnot. Cause she has like this dream of making this giant, beautiful cornfield kind of thing with the children and living happily ever after with the children. But yeah. So give me a second. So the priest told Dororo that, Hayaki Maru can see the soul of people, and she ends up using it, Dororo, she ends up using it to tell Mio about it. Because Mio's constantly going up to Hayaki Maru and like kind of looking at him and stuff. And she's like, it almost feels like you can see me. And she's like, he can see you, but he sees your soul. And she's like, oh, don't look at my soul, because she feels bad about the things that she's doing, right? Sleeping with, the samurai. And then she does something really, really dumb, but I don't blame her or nothing. She is 1,000% a victim. She sleeps with both sides. Both, they're having a war. Both samurai sides are having a war. She sleeps with both sides. And as soon as she did that, I already knew what was going to happen. Hold on. Oh yeah, and Hakimaru, he can sense that she has a good soul as well. He can sense her soul, and he can sense that she has a good soul because she takes care of him, and she's very what's it called? She's very selfless with her acts, even though she's doing dirty acts. Right. So basically, this is a two episode parter. I don't even really need to read the rest of this, but basically, you can see that they're kind of low key falling in love with each other. And one thing that's happening that we see that's constantly happening is that our boy Hyakimaru, he's still struggling with hearing all these sounds. He has his hearing back, and he's struggling because he's hearing so much stuff at one time. He's hearing the people talking, he's hearing the sounds in the background, like the rivers and the forests and the animals and the birds and all that stuff. And it's like really bothering him. He's really sensitive to it because he just got his hearing back. And one thing that Mio does is she's constantly singing. And she says that she always sings instead of crying. When she feels sad and feels lost and feels, weak, she always sings. But it calms our boy Hyakimaru when she sings. So that's what Dororo told her to say. He told her, why don't you sing? And, because he clearly really likes that. So she's always singing and whatnot. And I already knew this was going to happen. Finally, our boy goes and fights the demon one last time. The kids showed him the swords that they found swords on the battlefield. They had like 30 of them. So he wraps one of them to his leg so he can cut through the demon. And he uses it to walk on because he lost his leg, of course. And he ends up going and fighting the demon. Dororo goes and tries to rescue him, get him to stop fighting. But he ends up beating the demon. And after he beats the demon, he gets his leg back. And both him and Dororo are walking back to the mountaintop where the kids were and where, Mio was. And they end up finding that one of the enemy sides of the samurai, one of the sides had found out that she was sleeping with both camps. And so he basically murdered every kid there. It was like really sad and depressing. And then before Mio dies, she sings one last time. And then Hyakimaru, he knows her, he can sense her. He senses her, and he goes on a full-on rage and kills all the samurai there. And they're talking about, have mercy. It was a very reasonable crash out. I started crying a little bit. I had some tears going, you know what I'm saying? Very freaking sad. This show, look, bro, it's a freaking underrated masterpiece. And then, this is how it ended. He held her in his arms, and then his first words, again, now that he has his voice back, was Mio. Boy, I started tearing. Boy, them tears was flowing. Boy, hey, quit playing, bro. Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was crying. I was crying hard as hell. That was good. Good, like the whole episode 5, 9 out of 10. Episode 6, masterpiece episode. 10 out of 10 episode. It is what it is. Everything about this episode was good. Animation for this show has been top notch. It looks beautiful as hell. It is what it is. It doesn't look clunky. I wish Hell's Paradise had this type of animation. But this show is amazing. I really love this show. I genuinely think it's an underrated masterpiece. And I don't know why nobody's talking about it. I know it's older now, but it's so good. Like, it's so good, and it's not hard to get into. And I love the premise of him beating demons and getting parts of his body back and getting his senses back and getting his limbs back. I love this whole premise. 10 out of 10 episode. Love it. Right after this video, I'm going to continue to watch it. I highly recommend this show. Highly recommend it. Okay? People always trying to recommend good anime. This show is good as hell. And it's not hard to get into. Like I said, some shows are a slow burn and take a little too much time to enjoy them. This show is good off the bat. It's good. So I highly recommend it. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please watch this show. It's so good. Especially if you like Samurai Champloo, if you like Inuyasha, if you like Demon Slayer, if you like, I think if you like Berserk, you might also like this too. It's really good. It's super good. Highly recommend it. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Peace and blessings. I don't want this to get too long. And take care.